Marfoogle News live in 3, 2. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We've got some very, very crazy things happening right now. We're going to go over that. Of course, you have the White House to appeal this ruling on Portland troop deployment. Remember, they were going to put National Guard into Portland because of how crazy it is. One of the judges actually blocked that temporarily, and this is now getting pushed on. It says the White House said on Monday it will appeal a recent court decision that challenges the federal government's deployment of National Guard troops in Portland, Oregon. Again, a federal judge in Oregon on Sunday temporarily blocked the Trump administrations for sending any National Guard troops to police Portland. It says, quote, "So we are appealing that decision. As you know, we expect a hearing on it pretty quickly, and we are very confident in the president's legal authority to do this." This is something that, again, many of us are looking at. All of the cities that have this happening, I personally believe that this is a cover for something else. It's not all about what they say it is, that there is some sort of an underlying threat here, and we know that they're actually talking about these threats, but they're not connecting the two. The fact that all of these places, in fact, sanctuary places that have essentially taken in a bunch of people, would be the same places that most of the bad actors that came along with just people looking to get a better life, those bad actors would be in a lot of these states. In fact, they got rides and hotels and all sorts of other things, led right into where they would be staying next. So that's the thing. Obviously, you have lots and lots of protesting going on in these cities, but is that the intention? Why blocking this, so adamantly? Obviously, they have their view and their narrative on it. But again, this is getting out of hand. Ice Cube's freaking trailer, supposedly, and I only heard about this recently. Supposedly, it got firebombed, and maybe they thought it was ice. I don't know, but it was Ice Cube's tour bus. If that was just a funny rumor, then that's funny. If not, that would be absolutely hilarious and absolutely horrible at the same time. If they couldn't tell the difference between the two. But either way, there's been a lot of stuff going on right now, and especially as we have threats against our hospitals, threats against our infrastructure, of course, threats against our border, and of course, threats against all of our allies, it is pretty crazy timing. Now, before we move on, make sure to go check out marfooglenews.com/energy. If you haven't seen these generators, these are our recommendation for a solar generator. This is the same recommendation for a solar generator that went out to the U.S. Army. They just won the SBR Phase 1 and Phase 2 contract, so these are actually going to be shipping out to the Army, and I believe some have already, but I'll have to check on that. Again, these are to special specifications because they have to be for the Army, so that means that they're front-loaded in the U.S., again, so you will not have these turn off on you randomly after we go to war with a certain country. Again, these are also reinforced with steel so they can fall off the back of a truck or a Humvee in their case. And they have heaters for extreme cold temperatures, water, and weather resistant. These things are an absolute beast. They're built like things used to be. Again, make sure to go check it out, marfooglenews.com/energy, INERGY, and make sure to use the code Marfoogle. All right, let's bring in my co-internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So we have Chicago police told officers what?
Yeah, so there was an incident in Chicago where an ICE group was rammed, some sort of ramming incident, and they got surrounded. Their vehicle was rammed by another vehicle. They were then surrounded. They then called in for police to assist them as things were getting heated and violent, and they were obviously outnumbered. And apparently, according to the police reports and what came out, I guess, from the investigation around this, is that the police were ordered to stand down or ordered to not provide any units, would not respond to this event. So it's been rejected by the top brass of the local police in the sense of that support was rejected. Now, it's unclear if it was due to a shortage of officers or just a genuine refusal. Could be the latter, especially the hostility that's been going on between the city and anything Fed related. And as we'll talk more about what's going on there, this sort of paints that picture of what's happened over the weekend and how things are just getting to this really heated escalation point, not just between protesters, but between the state and the Fed, just like with Oregon and the Fed. And now you've got Illinois and the Fed, or even the city of Chicago and the Fed.
And Chicago, another city that has attempted blocking the federal or a National Guard, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson signed an executive order on Monday blocking federal immigration agents from using city-owned property for immigration enforcement operations, just one day after we learned that the city waved off the police responding to a vehicle ramming attack on Border Patrol agents over the weekend. Johnson has established ice-free zones, referring to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement as part of his Protecting Chicago initiative. Remember, he's protecting folks that literally are not Americans. I mean, that's what this comes down to. Again, today we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. Johnson said during a Monday press conference the order establishes ice-free zones. That means that the city property will be, and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids. The president's administration must end the war on Chicago. It says the Trump administration must end this war against Americans. But again, these are technically not Americans. So I do like the point that many people have made, that what keeps us all different, what keeps the culture of every country, no matter where you visit in every part of the world, what keeps them separate and different from all the rest is the people. And if you literally have no walls whatsoever, then you're talking about a one world. I mean, that's what I don't get is some of the folks that do understand that they're trying to do this, but then look at this and go, oh, well, no, they should let everybody in. Well, that's kind of the picture that they want you to accept. So I don't know about that. Again, what do you guys think in the comments down below? And then this should really, really concern a lot of people. And, you know, this is Elon retweeting this and reposting this with a yes. Now, once you see what's being said, you'll understand why. There's a gentleman holding up a picture. It says, "This is the USA. There is no one coming to our rescue if things go sideways. No one will be resupplying us. No one will airdrop food, ammunition, medicine. There is no place to escape for freedom. This is it." Now, the fact that he reposted this at this timing, and honestly, we don't know what the heck is going on in the back end, but I will show you this. We've got, of course, the gold prices here. We are almost at 4,000 gold out of nowhere. I mean, it's not out of nowhere. I mean, this whole year has been insane. Just earlier, let's see here. Let's go to 1 year ago. We were at 2,600. It has gone up 1,400. And if you actually look at 5 years, it was at 1,900. It was, in fact, at 1,900 up until last year. It has literally doubled. So if you don't know what that means a lot of people are basically taking their cash and they are flowing right into gold. Huge, huge purchases. We're talking about country-size purchases are happening right now. And if people are still not getting why, then I would highly recommend you watch our last 10 years of shows telling you what the hell is about to happen. Dex, when you saw the gold and you're seeing this, obviously this rumors and conflict and civil conflict, you want to talk about that comment that the actual Mayor Brandon Johnson said too? Like, why is all this talk about civil conflict?
Well, I mean, certainly civil conflict is top of mind for lots of people, and as it relates to this, but Johnson accused the right of, and he was talking mostly of the extreme there, of refusing to accept the results of the old civil conflict, and so they have repeatedly called for a rematch, but in the coming weeks we will use this opportunity to build greater resistance. Chicagoans are clear that militarizing our troops in our city as justification to further escalate a war in Chicago will not be tolerated, he said. The right, specifically wing that he's talking about here, he said, in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. So pretty strong words coming from Johnson there.
Now, just to let you know, Ilea sent me the picture of the gold today and the picture of that retweet. And I was kind of blown away because I hadn't been on X at least for a couple days here, and I was just blown away by that because it's really starting to be apparent that we are being made out to be the next Germany. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but if you really think about some of the things that have come out over the last few years and what the rest of the world looks at us as, if we were in a war, that point rang home that, who's going to be helping us? Who's going to be supplying us if something seriously goes wrong? If we have our entire grid go down and we are in absolute chaos, who's going to come in and rescue us, right? There is no country that's above this. So, as much problems as we have, it is a pretty scary thought to lose what we do already have. So, yeah, and we all know it's coming, and at some point, people are going to realize it if they haven't already. Join us for the next show. We're going to talk about, of course, a possible attack incoming on embassies and Americans in general. So we'll talk about that on our next show. It is going to be right after this. If you are in the chat, all you have to do is stay there. You'll be ported over. If you want to access any of these articles, tweets, videos, pictures, and documents, you can go over to marfooglenews.com and you can find, again, this thumb. Once you find that thumb, you'll have a full bibliography of every single article, tweet, video, picture, document. All right, you guys, make sure to join us on that next show. If you're watching the replay, all you have to do is click here. See you in just a moment.